Hello, FlossTube, and welcome to my Creative Country Girl channel. My name is Tammy Blaylock, and I am the Creative Country Girl. This is my second FlossTube video. It's been 3 weeks since my first. I really wanted to get on here last week, but I was so exhausted last weekend. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Today is August 22nd. It's Saturday morning. I've got my windows open. It's still relatively cool for summer in Indiana. And I opened the windows Sunday. I think Sunday afternoon last weekend. We had a rain come in and it cooled things down dramatically. And so I opened the windows last Sunday, and they've been open ever since. But it's warming back up, so I'm pretty sure when my husband gets home from work tonight, we'll have to put them on. He works in a factory, and there's no air. So when it's 80 degrees out, it's really more like 100 degrees where he works. And it's just easier on him. He's actually working today, which is why I'm taping today. He's taking tomorrow off, and he'll be home all day. And I planned on taping tomorrow, but with him being home, I thought it'd be easier to do this today. So today is just an update. School started. First student day was supposed to be August 5th. The first teacher work day was August 3rd. August 3rd started, we went virtual this year, right now, right after fall break, October 19th. The students are supposed to come back to the building. I'm a little leery about that just because of my chances for getting COVID will rise dramatically with them in the building, but I miss them dreadfully. And virtual teaching is exhausting. It's exhausting. So I have worked 10 to 12 hour days for a while now. And this is the first weekend where I'm actually going to take time out both days. I'm going to try to not work on school this weekend. I'm going to try, but I doubt that will happen. So I've got plans for today for a little bit. I want to go up to my sewing room and try to stay away from the computer for school, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so on to stitchy stuff, which is why I'm here. I am going to try to get a normal pattern down for how I'm going to do this. So what I would like to do is have my finished items done first, and then I'll do whips, and then I'll do acquisitions, new purchases, and then after that I'll do plans. So as far as my finishes go, just like in the last video, I have no completely finished. Well, I did have a find. I found a piece that I created back in 1994. This is probably one of the last cross-stitch pieces I did. There's one more that I'm still searching for that I did a few years ago, right after I had a surgery, and there wasn't much I could do. So I did find a cross-stitch piece. Well, I know I have that. I just have to find it. But this is the one I did back in 1994, and it's fully finished. And at that time, I wasn't a quilter. I did have a sewing machine that I pedaled with, and but I was really just a cross stitcher at that time. So this is my finished piece. I know it was completed in 1994 because it says stitched by Tamara, 1994. So this piece I actually did before I had our children. Seth was born in 1995 and Hannah in 1998. I completed this piece a year after we bought our home, and I decorated in navy and burgundy. And so I finished this piece. There's a little bit of batting in there. I don't know what I used. I honestly don't. I know this is linen. It was probably purchased at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's nothing fancy. I don't remember where the pattern came from. No idea. I do know that I probably got the material at John Fabrics or Hobby Lobby. And as you can see, I wasn't worried about if the patterns, the squares lined up or anything. I don't think they're even the same sizes. These were probably all cut with scissors, no rotary cutter at the time. And I just did what I thought at the time looked right. And so I found this folded up. I kind of went through some cabinets here in my studio because I made a new station for my stitching, and I found this in a drawer. So I am going to put this out. I just have to figure out where and all of that. It'll probably be in here in my studio, but my wall space is lacking, as you can see. I tend to stuff it. So this is the only room in my house where I literally stuff every piece of the wall because they're all things that are important to me. One of these days I'll do a tour. I love this room. I love it. Okay, so that is my finished piece. I have another piece that's almost finished. I started this in July, and then I stopped, but this is a table runner, and I was working on it on my machine, and I didn't like how the back was looking because I have some thread doodles. I call them thread doodles. You know, when you start to sew, you get that thread. So I stopped, and I was thinking about finishing it with hand stitching. As you can see, I was putting binding on, and I've got it on the top, but now all I have to do is fold it over and hand stitch it back, and I just haven't gotten to that point. So I have to finish this. This was an almost, I know this is a cross stitching, but I consider my quilting also stitching because I'm stitching. And I've got some material to make some new project bags, so I'd like to get upstairs to get those done this weekend. I also have, moving my cup, a couple other things I spoke of last time. I know I showed you this piece. It's a Stacy Nash piece, I believe. It's called Hollow's Eve. And I stitched this one night. We're right by, we're relatively close to the road, and I do have the windows open, so we're going to hear the cars drive by. I do live in the country, but the front part of the house is closer to the road than the back. So, but this says Hollow's Eve, and I've got the pumpkins on there. Oh, my arrow's there for my mouse. Okay. And then I purchased this wool felt. It was on clearance for 80 cents a yard. And I got a quarter of a yard, and it's huge. I mean, it's So I should have just bought a yard to have it in the future, but I didn't at the time, and now it's gone. But I thought that goes with it really nicely. And then I had this, I don't know if I had this in my last video. I haven't looked, but it was a wood box. Hang on just a second. It's a pine box with a lid, and I got it at Hobby Lobby. It's in with the unfinished wood department, and it's $1.99 wood pile. So, and they have it always back in the unfinished part. So what I've done, I took my black chalk paint and I painted it, the inside and the outside. I did this last weekend, and I've misplaced my wax. So this weekend's task is to locate my wax so I can put my wax on top of this. My wax, I use, it's called an antique wax, and it's a dark brown. So it's going to darken the places where I sanded up, but it's also going to give it a finish to it so that it's not, chalk paint is literally, it feels like chalk. It's very flat. It's flatter than flat paint, and it's easy to distress to the point where you distress it the way you like it. So the ends, I got the corners really good, the bottom, and I'm going to wax this. And then my goal was to cut a piece that would basically fill the lid of the box. However, I just wasn't thinking when I stitched this. And let's see if I can fold this over a little bit. Yeah. As you can see, Hollow's Eve doesn't go across. I should have moved this up here, and I didn't do that. So tonight, later on when I'm relaxing, I want to take the eave out, and I'm going to move it down, and I might even stitch a bigger pumpkin, similar to those, but bigger, to go in between the hollows and the eave. And so the next time with my next FlossTube, I'm hoping to have that completely finished. I've been contemplating doing a video of how I finish this, just so everyone can see. I can start it from the painting aspect, or I can start it from this point with my waxing and how I attach this. So I'm going to think about that. And then if you remember my first video, I had stitched this cute little piggy for my niece. This is the box that I chose to get for her, and I also painted that in chalk paint. It's a pink. I have to clean off the top, and again, I have to find my wax. But inside the piece, it's too far for me to reach. There's a wood square piece, so that when this is cleaned off, the glass will come through, and I'm going to cut the pig down. She loves pigs. She collects pigs, and the pig will show through. And then I'm going to make her a necklace. I'm a jewelry designer, and I'm going to make her a necklace to put in the box for her birthday. So that is that. For my other whips, let's get started on those now. The ones that are still in my project bags. I really haven't gotten much done on my Prim Stitch series. Other things have been calling my name, as you'll soon see. But I've had to take apart the beehive a couple times. I didn't like the orange that I had where the brown was. I have changed my beehive a little bit from the pattern. Where you see the brown stripes, those were supposed to be orange. And I just didn't care for the way the orange stood out. And so I changed. I had to rip all that out. And then I have gotten started on the border. So I want to work more on that. And once school settles down a bit, I'm hoping I'll be able to get back into this one. I just got in the mail the second pattern. I thought I put it in here. It's not in here. So maybe it's with my other new patterns I have right over here. So I will share that. Also with the Prim Stitch, I don't know if you recall, but it came with Orifloss. It didn't come with Orifloss, but that's what the chart recommends, or she did have a DMC conversion. So I didn't want to do either. I wanted to do my variegated floss, not variegated, my overdyed flosses. And so I don't know if you can see it that well. The reds in the flag, the stripes, really shows up for me. So I know there's a snag, but the border is going to cover that up. I did that. It was an accident. I could beat myself up over it, but it happened. Things happen and you move on. So my next work in progress is, I don't think I shared this with you the last time. Is the Stitch Quarterly from Fat Quarter Shop. This one was from March. I'm actually, I think I'm making this for a gift. I'm not for sure. The more I stitch on it, the more I love it. I have a passion for flowers. And so I've got a couple of different colors of threads on here right now. But this is where I'm at. And that sunflower, oh, I love it. I am using the cloth for DMC because it came. I really like the Stitch Quarterly because it comes with everything you need. You get it in the mail and bam, you can get started right away. So I really, really am enjoying this one. I did cancel Kimberly on one of her lives on Wednesdays did show the colors for the next Stitch Quarterly, which I believe is supposed to ship in September, the beginning of September. And it was Halloween colors. It was black and bright green, lime green, and a purple, a bright purple, and an orange. And my kids are 25 and 22, and I love Halloween. I do. But I don't have little kids in the house. Now, if I have grandchildren, Seth, Hannah, if I had grandchildren, I would definitely be into those colors. But right now, I've got other projects that I'm working on that I'm really into. And I just didn't want Halloween, bright purple, green, and orange Halloween. This is something relatively new. I do bobbinate all of my floss, even my overdyes, because that's how I organize my floss. It makes sense to me. So I haven't bobbinated this yet, but I found these crayon boxes at my grocery store, Kroger, and they were 50 cents. So I purchased what they had. And for projects that are small, these are working perfectly. And I thought of that when I saw it because Brenda, from Brenda and the Cereal Starter, was using pencil boxes that she purchased on Amazon. And when I saw those crayon boxes, I'm like, that's perfect. So I pulled that out, and let's see, what else was I working on at the time? I haven't done anything to the Prim Village. I don't know. I know I shared with you my Snow Village, but I haven't really done much to that either, and I need to get a move on. This is my whip on Snow Village. This is just the first one. I kind of paused on that because I saw a piece completed with all of them together on one piece, and I loved it. So I guess at the mind I stopped, because if I'm going to do that, do I want to do this? You know, I'm still at the early stages. I can't, I'm over 50% done, because if you look at the pattern, well, probably 40%. That bottom border is a lot of the stitching on this piece. But I think I put it on pause because I'm trying to decide if I want to piece it all together or if I want to leave it as individual pieces. And that's what I can't decide. And then school happened, and here I am. So what is this? Those Prim Village, I haven't touched that. I'm not going to bother sharing that with you. So let me put some of these back, the ones I've shared with you. I have worked on my Plum Street Autumn Houses a little bit, but I'm still not far with it because other things have diverted me. And school, when I say school, I leave in the morning. In between, it just depends on when I wake up. Normally, I wake up in between 5:30 and 6 in the morning. That's just when I naturally wake up. And so if I wake up at 5:30, and I don't like to lay around in bed, when I wake up, I'm awake and I want to get the day started. So when school started back on August 3rd, if I woke up at 5:30, I would get up and get ready. It doesn't take me a long time to get ready in the morning. So I would leave for school in between, you know, if I got up at 5:30, I would leave for school by 6:15, 6:20. And that means I'd get to school at 7. And the official day doesn't really start until 9 since we're virtual. But I'm always there. Always there around 7, 7:30. This last week I went in a couple days about 8:30, which was shocking. But then I wouldn't leave until 5, 6, 7 in the evening. And then I would come home with my computer, my Chromebook, and I would work an additional, depending on what time I got home. Sometimes I just worked a couple hours because I wouldn't get home until 7. I would eat dinner and then work and then go to bed and get up and do the same thing all over again. So the first week and a half, almost those 2 weeks of school, I did no stitching, none, because I was too exhausted to move once I got home. So I did pull this out one night this week and worked on it a little bit. I'm concentrating on getting that house finished. And once I get that house finished, it'll be so much easier to get moving. I don't have the picture for it right now. I put it back in my pattern. I wrinkled it once and I was like, nope, that's not going to happen. So I put it back in my pattern binder. So that's where I'm at with that. Now, to my latest starts, which I have been spending a lot of time on. Not a lot, but there's 4 starts. And for me not stitching 2 of the 3 weeks I've been gone, that's a lot. So I love the Garden Club series by Blackbird Designs. And this one is number 1. It's called Basket of Cherries. And I am going to stitch I think I'm going to stitch them all individually. No, I think here's my plan. I want a big piece. I want them all together. And initially, when I got started, I purchased a piece of linen that was and is large enough to hold them all. However, looking online, I have found finished pieces of this series where they're different. They've been stitched on different colors of linen and then sewn together. And I can do that. So now I'm contemplating doing them on different pieces of linen. I don't know. But this basket has given me a run for the money, because this is the first piece of linen I have stitched on in a very long since the Angels in 1994. So it's kind of taken me a little bit to get going on this, but this is my start. And this is after having to rip out that big basket 3 times. So this is the twice, because this is the 3rd time stitching it. And I'm still in the process of ripping out a little bit more because they didn't meet up. I miscounted like 1 thread of linen or something like that. So I believe this linen is 32 count, and it's just a piece that I already had. It's nothing fancy. It's probably from Hobby Lobby. My local needlework store, I have 3, but they're all over an hour away. So I haven't been to one in a while. For Basket of Cherries, I'm using the called for DMC colors. I have all of them. So that I love, even though I've had to do the basket 3 times now. I love it, and I'm still working on it. I've got number 3. I need numbers 2 and number 4, but I have a lot of them. I bought all the patterns. They were on sale, and I bought all that they had. So I have probably 60% of them, but I know I need number 2 and I know I need number 4, I think. So I have to locate those. And then the next piece I started is a piece that I purchased a little bit ago, but I haven't had the guts to try to start it yet. And I think I'm changing a few of the colors as I go. I'm using the DMC colors. It's called Quilted Garden, a floral sampler with needlework smalls. It's by Blue Ribbon Designs. Isn't that just pretty? I just love it. I love floral motifs. I love the floral in this. And then it also has quilt blocks, but I'm cross-stitching them. I love the little birds. So I am changing the colors as I go. I am looking at their colors and just switching them around to like a purple that's more my purple. Instead of a bright purple, I'm using, oh, there they are. I have been looking for this for about 2.5 weeks now. These are my cross-stitched needles. And I've been borrowing needles from Whips because I couldn't find my cross-stitch needles. I just found them. So I'm ecstatic. I was really thinking I might have thrown them away because I just, anyway, back to this piece. It calls for a couple of shades of purple, but they're pretty bright. So I went into mine and, instead of their purples, I'm using a really dark plum and then muted lavender shade, but they go really well together. So I am changing the colors as I go, but I am doing this on a 28 count of Lugana, and I believe it was called Mushroom. And I'm doing it 1/1. And it keeps me hopping because it's tiny. It is so tiny. But there you can see a little bit of it. So what I'm working on is the left border. Is that left? Well, when I'm looking at it, it's left, but it's really right. I'm working on the right border. And then I'm going to go down and around. I'll probably not go all the way around at first. I'll probably get this side done, and then I'll start on the blocks and make sure that they go the way they're supposed to. They're spaced the way they're supposed to be. And then I'll start moving over as I go. So I'm loving this. I'm loving the flowers and the colors I've chosen. Like I said, I bobbinate. So I bobbinate as I go and use them. I don't bobbinate them all at once. So when I start using a color, but I don't know if you're going to be able to see the colors. That's kind of my color palette. It's kind of a mess in there right now. I need to get them all bobbinated. I might do that tonight. Take some time tonight. But that is Quilted Garden by Blue Ribbon Designs, and it's a floral sampler with needlework smalls. I am figuring out very quickly that I love smalls. I love the small individual pieces, and I will be happy doing a larger piece as long as it is full of smalls. So I love that. Love it, love it, love it. And now my next two. I have a hard time choosing in the evenings which one I'm going to stitch on first. Let me start with the one that I know a lot are doing right now on Instagram. A lot of FlossTubers are sharing on Instagram. I just fell in love with this pattern. I think it's because of all the small motifs on it. I just love it. And I have fallen in love with Heartstring Samplery because of it. Beth, you're amazing. All of that stuff in your head, I don't know how you do it. But this is called Consider the Lilies. And it's a large pattern, a large design. But I'm loving stitching it. I don't have a lot done. I am using the called for colors. For now, I am. And from, well, maybe that's why I'm losing needles. Because I just found one. I wonder, it's got to go to one of those. So I am finding out, I'm learning that I love even weave. This is another Lugana. This one's called Cream. And I made sure that the piece was large enough. But I am stitching this. This one is 28 count also. But but I'm also doing it 1/1, which I am enjoying a lot. I've got one lily on there, and then I wanted to work on the border a little bit. I'm going to get this lily in, and I'm probably going to do one other lily here and one other lily here, and then I'm going to start on the motifs that go in this corner. I thought about working on the border. I'm going all the way around, but that kind of scares me. I want to make sure that my motifs line up correctly where they're supposed to be, because with a pattern this big, I can see me going off on one motif and not catching it right away, and then 6 motifs later I realize I can't continue because I messed up a while back. So I am carefully stitching this, going a little at a time and double checking as I go. So that is Heartstring Samplery. Consider the Lilies. I would like to get it done this year, but I'm not rushing myself. I do have some favorite motifs that I just want to stitch really badly, but you know, I am going to take my time with it. So the next one I'm working on is also on an even weave. That's why I'm saying I have enjoyed even weave. And this one I'm doing 2/2. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. I see it. No. There. See? This one is 2/2. It's even weave. It's all, this one's a 32 count. And I can't remember. I have the bag that it came in somewhere. I looked for it this morning, but I can't find it. So I might have to update you on my next FlossTube over what the material is. I know it's even weave, and I know it's been dyed, but here's my stitching. It's 2/2. Does anyone have an idea of what pattern? Just looking, and this is the correct. Sometimes when I pull it out, I'm looking at it like this, and I'm like, is that right? That's why I did that. But that wasn't right. This is correct. I stitch right now. I'm enjoying the sewing method. That's how I'm stitching. So I have hoops, but right now I haven't used them for anything yet. But this is the pattern. It's Teresa Kogut. It's called A Work of Heart, and it's in blues, the angel. I just love Teresa's work. If I could afford to purchase one of her original paintings, I would. Her angels just speak to me. They speak to me. There's a video of a special project Teresa was commissioned for. There's a family in Florida, and the owner wanted to have 2 pieces of artwork done by Teresa, and they mirror each other. They're 2 different angels, but they live in Florida, and I believe they live on the beach. And so she wanted 2 ocean angels, and it's in the I'm losing a word. The part of the house when you walk in, and it's just like this massive hallway, and the chandelier is made by an artist, you can tell. And these 2 angels flank them. They're in the hallway looking at each other, and they're just beautiful, beautiful. And so when I saw she had turned some of her angels into cross stitch pieces, I was there trying to stop with the glare. I was entranced, and this is the one I wanted to try first. So right now it's slow going, but as you can tell, this is a solid piece. The outline is material, but I mean, the angel is a solid stitch all the way across. So I started where it would be easiest for me, which was up in the wing area, because the white of the angel's wings is pretty a large area there. But you can see I've stitched all of the white that I could, and I'm going down. There's a little bit more, and then the pattern is just very intense. So this is taking time. I'm working slowly on this. I'm counting and each row as I go, and then I recount it when I'm done, because one stitch off and it could mess the whole pattern up. So these last two that I'm sharing with you are very slow going. I've got highlighters, especially with the Teresa Kogut with the angel, and I have to highlight each row as I do it. I know if it's colored in, I've already stitched it, because it's very, very easy to get that wrong. I already had this on hand back in the spring. Hobby Lobby had these containers. It's a large container and it has a lid, which I like. But what I've done, I've divided it up amongst the two large pieces. So this is my angel. When I'm done working on her for the night, I fold her up, put her in there. And then this is my Consider the Lilies. My Consider the Lilies colors are here. And my angel floss is below it. There's a lot more colors to the angel. You don't realize it. And I'm a little worried because that's one of the colors. There's some bright colors, but the photo of it is so dark. So I am waiting to see when I get to those areas if I have to exchange colors. I will keep them within the same family, but I'll just mute them down. But it's nice to have this, and then I have my patterns on the same clipboard, and the one I'm working on, I pull it out and put it on top. So this is working great. I was going to keep them in a project bag individually, but the flosses wouldn't fit in one of my boxes, and this keeps them organized by numbers. So when I need a new floss, I can just go to the number and find it, pull it out, and then I put it back. So this is working great. I don't know if they still have this. This was at the beginning of the stores where you have the seasonal stuff. This was part of the spring seasonal. So maybe they'll have a different version for fall. I don't know. But this, I really am happy that I had this. I purchased it for jewelry making. Never used it for jewelry making. And when I was cleaning the studio, I found it. I'm like, ooh, that would be perfect. So I pulled that out, and I'm using that. Excuse me. With all the virtual teaching, I'm recording videos all the time. And I have 2 or 3 live Zoom sessions a day with students. And I'm talking all the time. I always lose my voice when school starts, and I thought it'd be easier with virtual, but I think it's harder. So let's see what's next. I have my purchases back here. I purchased a planner right before school started. This is just for my stitching. I fell in love with it. It's small and thin, but it's a little chunky. And it says grateful for the beautiful things. So, no, grateful for this beautiful life. And I liked it because initially I was going to purchase one of the big ones that everyone's got. But I thought this really worked for me better. It's got 2021. It's school year, which I'm so used to the school year that works for me. And it starts at July. I love the quotes that are in it. This one says, do everything with so much love in your heart that you would never want to do it any other way. So, and that speaks to me. But at the beginning of each month, it's got the monthly calendar. But then it also has a daily calendar for the entire month. Okay? So, and then after that, it goes to a weekly schedule, which also, since I'm a teacher, the weekly schedule works for me. That's how I do my lesson planning. That works. And I didn't get this until the beginning of August, so I've had to kind of go back and think of what I did in July. But I actually just started filling this in the other day. So again, I've got my monthly schedule on here. I couldn't think of the name of the quilt that I'm stitching, the quilt blocks and the flowers. I can't think of it right now. If it's not about school, it doesn't stay in my mind. So I've got to write that down today. And then I'm coloring them so that I know during the week I can just highlight the color. So like I know this was the first week of school. I've got no stitching done. First week of school, I did nothing. I got back to stitching on Sunday. And this is when I started the floral quilt pattern. And I worked on it that Sunday. When I go to last week, Monday and Tuesday, I know I worked on the autumn quilt. Now, when I worked on those, it was maybe 10 or 20 minutes. And then Thursday of last week is when I got the Teresa Kogut sampler in. And I started that. And then last Saturday is when I started Heartstring Samplery. And I started that in the evening. You guys saw how much I have done. I think I did the lily, 3/4 of the first lily that night. I've only got one lily done. And then on Sunday, I had maybe 2 hours. I worked Sunday. Sunday, I might have stitched 3 hours that night. And I was able to get that border done. But I haven't picked it up since last Sunday. So I'm really liking this. And this helps keep me on track. Purchases, the latest. These I purchased at the very beginning. They probably came in right after my last FlossTube. This is the library card label pack by Lori Holt. And Lori uses these when she frames a piece, a stitched piece. She'll adhere the pocket on the back and write all the information on the front. And I love that idea. Not only because it puts everything that you need on that so you can go back and revisit it if you need to, but it's a library card and pocket. And I'm a librarian, so that spoke to me. I had to have those. And then to build up my over-dyed threads, I subscribed to the Floss Frenzy at Fat Quarter Shop, which that is for Weeks Dye Works. I want to subscribe to the other one. I can't remember what it's called because it's classic colors, classic colorworks. But it's full right now, and I will sub to that one when it opens up again. So I like how Fat Quarter Shop does a club each month, and it's based on a color. So July was navy blues. So we've got navy, deep sea, twilight, Michael's navy, phantom, and peacoat. And they're just, they're beautiful, beautiful shades of blues. So I think last month they were yellow. It was, yeah, they were yellow. No, aqua. It was aqua last month. So, and this is just my second month of it. So I really like when that comes in because you get the overdyes and various shades of the same color. And then I did order this. I ordered this from Amazon and it came in rather quickly. But this is after seeing some FlossTubers using Sulky threads. And this is 12 weight. And you can purchase, it's fairly inexpensive. On Amazon, these are like $10 a box and you get 6 colors. This is the autumn kit. And these colors really spoke to me. They're the deeper colors, burgundy and yellow, golds. I'm not sure about the variegated one, but there's those 3. And then the brown, the gold, and the green. So I was really excited to get these in. I'm not sure what I'll try them on, but I will. What's also neat about this packaging is that inside, I'm an organizational nut. So inside, when you get your package, it comes with the other colors that the Sulky floss comes in. So you can kind of get an idea of what other colors they have. So I thought that was neat. And then, okay, patterns, charts, things I love. I want to make sure they're all here because I was looking at them. Yes. Some of these, I want to start all of these right now. I want to start them all, but timing. I'm also, I purchased these thinking that listening to the rumors and about how COVID's supposed to get worse this fall, especially when flu season starts up, I'm anticipating possibly other closures like we had in the spring. And so I'm kind of bulking up just a little bit. I don't have a lot of patterns right now. So I just, when I see something I like, I kind of tag it and then I look and see how much money I have to spend on it. And I figure out, I spent a little bit more than what I should have ordering these. These are 3 different orders. No, 2. Yes, 2. So no, 3, because I ordered this from my local needle workshop. This is Country Cottage, and Fat Quarter Shop had this back in July, and I just loved it so much I could never get it out of my head. It's floral, and I love stitching flowers. I love flowers. One of these days I'm going to have to show you my gardens. So it's red, white, and blue, and I have the material for that. I purchased it separately. It's in my material drawer. I forgot to get my material out. I will do that here in a minute. But I'm excited for this one. And I have been oogling these festive little fobs collection from Heartstring. I just think they're so cute because they're little pieces. I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but this is the stitching edition, and I just had to have it. Those scissors, people, look at those scissors. I love them. The thread, I love it. I mean, it's just adorable. So I have that. And then let me show you this one first, then you'll understand. I have seen this one. I'm going to take them out of their plastic. I haven't even opened these yet. I saw this one on Facebook, not Facebook, on Instagram. And I just about died. I loved it. I love the little animals. It's by Barbara Anna Designs, and it's all creatures great and small. So I had to have that pattern. I adore it, and I cannot wait to get started on it. And I was searching for it, and I actually went to her shop, I believe, on Etsy. And was it Barbara's? I believe so. It says published by Creative Copy. I'm pretty sure I got it from her shop on Etsy. Maybe not. No. I think I got it from Kitten Stitcher. I don't know. I don't know where I got it. I don't know. All I know is that I got it. And while I was looking for that, I also found these. I had never seen these, and I about died. Now, there's 5 in the series, and they're kind of like the Plum Street, not Plum Street, yeah. Is that Plum Street? The Garden series. I don't know what it is right now. The Garden series, I started the basket of cherries. That's what this is. This is a series of 5, and they are called A New World, but it's in strips. So let's see. I'll take them each out. I only got 4 because one of them is very Halloween-y, and I don't really decorate in Halloween anymore. I decorate in autumn. So again, that might change one of these days. So this one is actually part 2, because I believe part one is the Halloween, and I just didn't want that one. So mine's going to be a set of 4, and this one is part 2, Plentiful Meadows, and it's a harvest, a farm life, animals, produce. I just love it. And I'm going to show you. You're supposed to stitch them together at the end, and it makes a tall sampler. So I purchased 2 through 5. And what is this one? Oh, I don't want to show you 5 next. Here we go. I want to show you 3 next. 3, I adore. It's called Deep in the Woods, and the title says it all. It's deep in the woods. The animals. It's a cabin, a fox, a squirrel, mushrooms. Isn't that adorable? So that's the second one, the third one in the lineup there. I'm trying to hold them steady. I'm doing my best. I have a tremor disorder, so I shake and I can't help it. And this one, New World Part 4, is A Visit to Town. And then the last one is probably one of my favorites in the series, just because I've never stitched anything ocean-wise, and I'm excited to stitch that stinking mermaid and the whale, the crab. This is called Over the Seas. I just adore them. And I am going to stitch them on different colors of linen, and I'll add them together at the end. The thing is that I'm not sure about the colors. All the colors are basically close to the same in each one. They have a lot of aqua, browns, and golds, some rust, and stuff like that. And I want it to go with my house a little bit better. So I'm probably going to be switching the aquas into blues. Not all of them. I'll keep some aqua in there, but switch it more to a neutral, not neutral, but reds and greens and golds and blues. More of my colors, excuse me, what goes with my house. So that is A New World. And then this one, I'm very excited to do this one too. There's just something about the animals and the sea just, but I love the saying, and I just love everything. Let me take it out. The Scarlet House. Scarlet House is along with Heartstring, Samplery. Those are two of my favorites right now. Oh, who am I kidding? I love Barbara Anna Designs. I love Plum Street, Stacy Nat. I love them all. So Good Company, because sometimes I feel like this is me. I love my husband. I adore my husband. But Saturday, I'm here. I'm home. I'm alone. It's quiet. I could go sit out on my deck with the view of my flowers and probably stitch all day and be happy with just my pets. The older I get, the more of a homebody I become, and the quietness, listening to the country noises, the birds and the squirrels. We have a squirrel family in the woods behind our house, and they antagonize Henry. Henry is my dachshund, and Henry, like a normal dachshund, is very, he's just so much fun. But those squirrels antagonize him, and they do it on purpose. I've seen them. They do it and do it just to antagonize him. But it works. So this last one I have is Tree of Life samplings. I'd never heard of them, but I saw this pattern on Instagram. Someone is stitching it. I cannot remember. Stitch Happy. And I just love the little motifs. You've got the thread underneath, scissors, the keys and the locks, and the little girl. Her dog. I'm going to say it's a dog, but it could be a cat. I just love it. So I had to have that one too. And I have no plans to start this one anytime soon, but I just fell in love with it. Those are all screaming to me. I hear their screams in the middle of the night, and I'm just dying to start them. But then I know that my Angel would be sad, and so would the Lilies if I took time out from them. So I'm going to wait. I also purchased this. I believe in my last video, I talked about punch art. I have this frame, and I have this, and I have a jar full of cotton. It's not DMC floss, but it's the DMC, yeah, you guys know what I mean, don't you? It's right back here. Let me pull this out. Michael's had a lot of this on clearance, so I have a jar, and they were on clearance, and so I bought them. What is this? DMC. I don't know. There's no actual. I think this is a size 5. Yeah, I think I all bought 5s, and I got the colors that spoke to me. So I've been told this works really well with punch needle. So I'm hoping that's true because I stocked up when they were on clearance right before school started. So I have those. I purchased those, and I think that's it. I think I've got everything. Okay. So I think I'm going to end there. And please, if you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to my channel. I would like to have more subscribers. Share with your friends. I do have a pretty cool giveaway for when I reach a higher number. I'm not for sure. The phone's calling. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you all later. Love you all. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.